Why hello there everyone, this is Mayor Jason, the Gaming Tycoon, also known as JM764, and well, welcome to another Transport Fever vehicle list update. So today, they decided to update the vehicle list, obviously, but they've added some really nice stuff, most notably a oil tanker from like the 1800s. Doesn't really look like it to me, but Anyway, normally I don't start with the news post anymore since they don't usually offer anything much aside from a little bit. But from the looks of this one, it seems that the docks got a bit of an upgrade from the last screenshot we saw, which was this one right here. This crane got changed, and it could just be a case of a later version of the dock upgrades and stuff, but overall, it looks pretty nice to me. Of course, assuming that all this is an in-game screenshot. But anyway, let's get on to the vehicles. Starting off the list, which I reloaded in advance this time, thankfully, we have the good old Baldwin 6-wheeler. And I just want to say, while I try to pull up the vehicle list again, because I forgot to, they finally added someone to the back of this thing. I mean, there's a driver. Yay. But, yeah, hold on a second here. Again, I really wish I had more time to, get this prepared and all. But I really do like the effects they've done to the vehicles. Like, this is clearly very worn out. It's rusted. It's got dirt all over it. It looks really nice. Of course, it would look better if it were properly maintained, but it's not the point now, is it? Anyway, let me get the stats up here. Come on. There we go. Alright. So, the build date has been reduced from 1815 to 1842. Now let me just point that out, that that's a very early start year. So, will we finally be able to start before 1850? Have custom date years, or is that just a thing like in locomotion where, hey, this was built in 1880, but obviously the starting year is 1900 kind of thing? Regardless, the top speed has been reduced from 40 kilometers to 30, which makes it even slower. Its weight is still the same at 20 tons. The power has been also reduced down to 50 from 70 kilowatts, and the traction has been reduced from 25 to 20. So they made a vehicle that was already hard to start off with even harder. And comparing that to the D1/3, you can see there's a bit of a gap now, which makes this thing better now than the Baldwin, which used to be better for starting in Europe. So that's going to be interesting how the differences between those two play out whenever the beta or whenever the game comes out, because I will definitely be comparing stuff like that for the start game. There's probably a trade-off though, because I didn't know this build year was 1847. I never noticed that. That's interesting. Well, moving on, we have the Roaster. Anyway, this is actually an oil tanker, as I mentioned earlier. Built in 1878, top speed of 15 kilometers an hour, power of 210 kilowatts, and a capacity of 240 liquid tons. So, this is a very, very beautiful ship. I mean, look at it. It looks really good, especially for a freighter. Clearly Russian. But hey, what can you do? Anyway, moving on, we have the... where is it? Oh yeah, the Gother? I think it's Gother. Type T1 trams, which were built in 1928, and comparing them to the ones in Train Fever, as soon as that pops up. There we go. They have been... Wait, did I say 1921? I'm sorry, 1928. Their build date has been increased from 1920 to 1928. The top speed is still the same. The weight has been increased by 1 ton to 26 tons. The power has been drastically reduced from 250 kilowatts down to just 120. And the capacity has been increased from 12 to 48. But to be honest, these are one of my favorite European trams, at least from the game. I feel like the, what were they called again? The, yeah, CE22 is better. Regardless, we now have the RE4 fourth, which comes out in 1946. I think this was, no, it was a Train Fever. Yeah, it was, sorry. So, for some reason they changed it from green to red, but we already know we can recolor stuff, so I'll probably color mine green. The build year is still the same, 1946. The top speed is still 125 kilometers an hour. The power has been reduced from 1,900 down to 1,850 kilowatts. And the tractive effort is 3 kilonewtons higher, from 135 to 138, and the weight is still the same, so it looks good. I'm surprised I didn't recognize this on the first viewing, because again, it's painted red, not green, but it looks good. Moving on, we have the Class V100, which I don't think was in the last list, pretty sure it wasn't. It was same build year, 1958. The speed is still the same at 90 kilometers an hour. The weight's the same. The power is the same, and attractive effort is also the same. So, same thing as in Train Fever, just shinier. Let's see what else. I don't think the Mirage was in here last time. Pretty sure it was just the Cobra. Well, regardless. The BE-46 Mirage built date has been increased 1 year from 1965 to 1966. The speed is still the same at 60 kilometers an hour. The weight has been increased by 1 ton to 26 tons. The power has stayed the same at 300, and the capacity has been increased from 15 to 45. And it still looks really good. Actually, it looks a lot better than in Train Fever. This might be the shininess factor. Let's see, I think, yeah, you were in the last one. Now we have another new vehicle, the GE E60, which, well, pretty much a giant box on the wheels. I think this was in Railroad 3, if I remember right. It might have been the AEM7. Regardless, this was built in 1974. Its top speed is 145 kilometers an hour. It weighs 176 tons, has a power rating of 4,000 kilowatts, and a tractive effort of 333. So really, comparing that to the AEM7, which comes out a few years later, I'd totally wait for the AEM7. There's next to no point getting this thing, unless you really need the tractive effort, because you could really just put 2 AEMs on here and just destroy this thing. Even if you just put 1, as long as the load is light enough, it will just fly, because this thing is slower and has less power. Granted, it does have more tractive effort, but again, that's really its only saving grace. But it does look good, especially considering it's still shaped like a box. Well, moving on, we have the Boeing 757 200 series. It was built in 1983. Top speed of 850 kilometers an hour. Is that faster? No, it's actually slower than the Airbus. That's what I was thinking. A wingspan of 38 meters and a capacity of 239 passengers and 2 crew. So comparatively, it does hold more than the Airbus, but obviously the Airbus is a smaller plane. But the Airbus does go a little faster, and it will probably be cheaper. So this will probably be your big going across the map kind of plane, at least for a while. It does look amazing though. I mean, look at it. Personally, I'm not much of a plane person. I used to be when I was younger. But I gotta admit, all the planes they've been putting in the game look really good. They've really done some attention to detail with them. But moving on, we have the Volvo 5000, which was built in 1973. And again, I'm pretty sure this wasn't in Train Fever. No, it was. Okay, it just looks drastically different. Problem. So its build year is down from 1994 to 1993, has a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour, like the one in Train Fever. Still weighs 10 tons. Power rating still the same, and now carries 72 people. So yeah, a much needed overhaul for this bus, because it looks like a brick in Train Fever in my opinion. I never really played the European map much, but I do recall this thing being just hideous. And now it looks really good. Not that shiny though, the paint's a bit flat, but I'm sure we can change that. And finally, at the end of the list, we have the HHP 8, or as they call it, the High Horsepower 8000. So basically, this is the Excella as a standalone engine, and that's really about it. I mean, build date of 2010, top speed of 200 kilometers an hour, weight of 100 tons, power of 6,000 kilowatts, and attractive effort of 250. I swear there was a version earlier than this one, but I can't think of it. Also, they do kind of look like bombardiers in my opinion. But oh well. But anyway, that seems to do it for the vehicle list, at least for this round. Next time, I think it's going to be a dev blog. I'm not sure. There seems to be a cycle between vehicle list, dev blog, and... No, I think actually next time might be an FAQ update than the dev blog, if memory serves correct. But we will see. Anyway, this has been Jam764, also known as Mayor Jason, the Gaming Tycoon. See, I got that backwards. How many times I'm going to do that in the future? Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.